Alright, so as I said, that's a bit of an intro into Jared and what he does and who he is and what he wants to do in the future. But yeah, like I said, my name is Chris from TG Sports Australia, New Zealand, and I'm here to talk to you about casual competitive professional gaming in Australia. So that's me up there. If you don't believe me, I'll stand like this. So what do I do and what is my company? So like I said, I'm the community and esports manager. Like Jared said, I do everything to do with my company and with computer games with esports. I post on forums, I come and do events like this, I go to live events like ACL Pro on the weekend, which Pig was at as well. I sponsor teams, I play games myself and things like that. TT Esports has been around for a couple of years now. It's part of a company called Thernaltake, whose shirt I'm wearing. Basically Thernaltake does cases, coolers and power supplies, which you'll see at our booth. And TT Esports does like the keyboards, mice, headsets, everything that plugs in and makes things work. So, a bit of gaming history myself. I started off, like a lot of people did, playing World of Warcraft back in the day, pre-BC. Can't say I'm exactly proud of that myself, but you know, it was good while it lasted. I got pretty bored of it in the end, but I did move on to Battlefield 2 because FPS is my calling. I played that rather competitively for a long time. Once Battlefield 2 weaned out, I moved on to Bad Company 2 as well, which unfortunately wasn't a very good game for competitive gaming. And now I play Counter-Strike Source. So as far as a couple of achievements go, I'm no professional gamer, but I'm more of the semi-serious competitive kind of side. My best achievement so far is achieving top 6 in Australia and New Zealand Battlefield 2 with my team called Team Renegade. Top 6 for Bad Company 2 should be actually 8v8s. And for a while we were number 1 in Australia for the 4v4 squad rush. And at this present time I'm playing in Cybergamer Main, which is Counter-Strike Source, which is part of the top 24 teams in Australia. So my current goals, like most of my players have goals as well, progress to professional leagues at Counter-Strike Source, make professional gaming possible in Australia, promote gaming to the public as a legitimate lifestyle, and support my gamers to be the best. So even though I'm part of a company and working for a living and things like that, my personal goal, like what it says up there, is I want Australia to be like Korea. Like Pig said in his interview, in Korea, you know, they stream live matches. When I went to Taiwan for Computex a month ago, I was flicking through the TV channels, I saw StarCraft on TV. You know, I'd love to see that kind of stuff happen in Australia. So what is competitive gaming? So just like competitive sport, it's gaming for a reason, to win, basically. You know, there's casual gaming, which is when you turn up, you know, play Super Smash Bros. 64, maybe beat your brother and laugh at his face. But this is normally something more like money on the line, cash, product prizes. You know, a lot of the time it's pay to play, you win money, you know, you got something to fight for. High emotion, high risk, and high reward. Does anyone recognise the picture? Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad. So, where can I watch competitive gaming? So, how you can watch and follow the scene is one thing that Pig was saying as well, is it's very, very important. Obviously with sponsors, they sponsor people, they want to sponsor the games and the tournaments that people are watching, people are looking at, and obviously as a spectator, you know, you want to keep updated. Like personally, I don't really play StarCraft 2 that much, but I keep updated through all the MLGs, I watch GSLs every now and then, you know, try to know what's going on. So how can you keep updated? Community websites, which I'll go over later on. Streaming websites like Twitch TV and Owned. Maybe you're sitting there a bit bored, instead of looking through videos of cats sneezing and falling off couches, maybe open up twitch.tv or own3d.tv and take a look at some gamers playing. Maybe pick up some tips and tricks for yourself when you can beat your brother and laugh at his face yet again. Or even live at events. Like I said, on Saturday and Sunday we were there at ACL Pro. We had people flying in from South Australia, Queensland and everything just to do casting, just to come and watch the event, which is brilliant. So why would I want to get into competitive gaming? Well, it's a few questions to answer a question. Do you like a challenge? Yes. Are you passionate? Do you like winning? And yes. Do you have the commitment and dedication? Yes. So what we find personally as a competitive gamer myself, the last one is definitely the hardest. Once you get a bit older like me, well, I'm not really old, I'm only turning 21, but when you have a job and you go to the gym and you have a girlfriend and a car and all that kind of stuff, other things get in the way. So what you really got to do is try to prioritise, or even for yourself, you got to make sure that, you know, if you've got an exam coming up or you know, you've got an assignment due, you know, and it's the same kind of stuff. You've got to say to yourself, do I really want to put in the hours? Do I want to stay up late every Friday, Saturday night playing this game, figuring out, you know, different smoke strategies and things like that? So here's a question for you, and I've actually got a prize here, which is a hat. If someone would like a hat. So this. So as it says here, if I have a game and an exam on the same day, which would I practice for? Yeah, this guy here. So unfortunately, I couldn't get one of my Heroes of New Earth guys to come through who was on the video, but the dude who was wearing the white beanie on the end when I showed the video on the main stage, his name is Waitalaba, and he's actually moved from New Zealand to Australia to play competitive games. And one thing that he made sure I talked about is the fact that you still, even if you want to get into competitive and professional gaming, is that you still finish your education. I sound like an old numpty when I say that, but you always need a fallback plan, and the guy left, you know, a successful electrical engineering degree or career, to come and play competitive games. So, professional gaming. What makes a professional gamer? As you see, there's a lovely picture of Pig up on the right there, pointing at you in the audience. So, a professional gamer is someone who lives solely off the profits from playing games titled as esports. It's not written very well. So, are there professional gamers in Australia? So, like I've said before, there are a few professional gamers in Australia. One of them is Pig, who you've seen about. One of them is the TG Esports HON team as well. So there isn't many at all. How easy is professional gaming in Australia? It's not. The expensive travel and accommodation fees is a lot of the issue for that. If you're in Europe, you can go over 3 countries just with one train ride. Plenty of people. Unfortunately for Australia, everyone's spread out over this massive bit of land with a bit of desert in the middle, so it's expensive to get to different places. And like it says, long distance from other esports tournaments. So how do they make enough money to live? Streaming, coaching, sponsorships, tournaments. I'll get into that a bit later, but most of those are pretty self-explanatory. So another picture there down the bottom. The guy from New Zealand is the one I was talking about on the right. His name's Waitalaba. And that's them with their 100,000 SEK second place prize, which is Swedish krona currency, and that's from DreamHack when they got second place. It's about $16,000 Australian.
Which team actually came first?
Thernaltake. So you're going to ask yourself some questions. What game do you want to play? Yeah? All right. Who said Peggle? Yeah. Good stuff. And the other question you got to ask yourself is what level do you want to compete at? So you got to say to yourself, do you want to become a professional gamer? Do you want to play this kind of semi-seriously? Do you want to put in as much time as you can into it and that kind of stuff? And do you have the skills and experience? So one thing that matters a lot is your experience in the game, especially with games that have been out for a long time, like Counter-Strike 1.6, been out since like 1998. A lot of the best players have been around for 8 years. You know, if you decide to yourself now, oh, I suddenly want to be a professional 1.6 gamer, you might have to rethink it unless you can get 8 years of experience in 2 months. Another picture down the bottom. This is one of our other gaming teams called Mecca. They are a New Zealand gaming team, and that's our Counter-Strike Source boys. They flew over in January to Elysium Net Cafe in Queensland for a Counter-Strike Source competition, which they got 3rd at. So, where to start competitive gaming? Pick a community or multiple communities. Normally there's communities that are associated with every single game. I'll go over those later on. Look up strategy guides, tips, tricks, coaching. So, like I said before with the guys that do coaching, most professional gamers make their money from coaching. So you can go into their streams and watch them play. I know with Pig, he coaches about 10 hours a week and charges $25 an hour for his coaching. So if you want some help with knowing what builds to do, you want to know how to improve your play style or anything like that, he'll drop a big document for you, run you through in an hour of what exactly you have to do. Stick to one game. That's one thing that's hard for a lot of people who want to get into competitive gaming as well. Unfortunately, it's hard to be very good at more than one game at once at a high level. And play with friends, practice hard. Good way to start out is just make a team with your friends. Don't try to, send spam all your applications into the top level teams and really annoy them and things like that. Just try starting off, playing with your friends, practicing hard, trying not to BM many people, and you'll go all right. So once again at the bottom there, another picture. That's our TT Esports HON team on the main stage in the grand finals, and those are all the spectators up there at DreamHack. So there's a few steps. You need to figure out, depending on what game you're playing, whether you want to go solo or be in a team. Pig, for example, he's not in a team, he's solo, he's TT Pig, he plays directly under us. Whereas other people like Team Immunity, who a lot of you guys have probably heard of, they've got a StarCraft team with the coach and casters and things like that. Team Xeria Gaming, another StarCraft one, they've got a coach and team. And obviously, teams like the HON team, they are a team because you can't play HON 1v1. You need a fallback strategy. Like I said before, professional gaming, it's not like it's a guaranteed thing. It's like a lot of other things in life. If you're going to education or something like that, just make sure there's somewhere you can go to if all else fails. What are your goals? So you've got to set realistic goals. Got to know, do some practice and say to yourself, where do I want to be in a year's time? Who do I want to be beating? And that kind of stuff. And how are you going to make money? That's another big question. Unfortunately, everyone needs money to live. Food isn't free, even though we all wish it was. So what does it take to be a competitive gamer? So, for example, myself, there's some points in here. So for someone, is there anyone in here that does some pretty semi-serious competitive gaming at all? Yeah, keep your hand up. Dude right at the back, do you want to come down?
Not really.
No? If anyone wants to come down, I've got a mousepad here for free. If someone can tell me who does semi-competitive gaming or whatever, what they think those points mean, and yeah, do it at the front here. Yeah, come down. Yeah, just give me a round of applause, go. Yeah, you can just talk into this microphone here.
So, can you just tell me what I should do?
Yeah, so basically just introduce these 4 points and just say what your thoughts are compared to being a competitive gamer.
Well, for starters, for practice, I usually, when I get home, which is around 4, I play for 3 hours. Usually, my first hour I just spend with bots, so I can just get into it. So I won't so I can just get the feeling back. Then after an hour, I just usually go on some casual servers where people join in and stuff. I play a bit around there, and then I usually on Friday nights I join clan matches. I know a friend who's in a clan, and I ask him if I could just play with him and stuff. Community involvement, Counter-Strike Source. And TF2, yeah. And for community involvement and support, what do you mean by that?
Yeah, so community involvement and support, once again, like Jared said, it's always good to be involved in your community. So one thing you should always look to do is give back. Try not to just play all your tournaments and then leave and annoy people on forums. So as far as community involvement goes, maybe become a server admin, become a moderator on some of your forums like I do as well, and help out your community.
I just sometimes when I'm on a server, I just try my best to make everyone's experience much better. Like if someone is just causing trouble or hacking or something, I would immediately report him and his Steam ID, because hackers just make everything not fun. And what do you mean by support?
Yep, no, that's fine. Just go to the next one.
And for my time management, like I said before, I usually try and just play at least 4 hours a day, and usually just study, because I'm doing methods math, and that requires a lot of study and stuff. So yeah. And for my strategy, when I started, I was incredibly bad. I used to get the AK and just hold the button down and assume I'd win. And I just started reading tips, and they really helped me. I used to just rush in and hope for the best. But then I read up some strategies on some websites, sort of like IGN. They have loads of Counter-Strike strategies. Yeah,
it's good. Give me a round of applause, guys. Yeah, so once again, down the bottom, that's another picture of Pig at Respawn Land in Victoria, who I hope that some of you... Anyone been to Respawn Land before? No? Oh, well, you should. You should. Respawn Land's in Victoria. It's in Bundoora at one of the universities there. So, professional gamer profile. So just to introduce Pig a little bit more. Once again, like you said, he's from Sydney. Professional gamer since January 2011, so not a long time. 23 years old. StarCraft 2 Zerg player, currently ranked 3rd in Australia, but I'd say it's probably 1st now, seeing as he just won ACL Pro. Aspires to play in Korea's global Star League competition, which is the biggest competition in the world. For those of you who don't know, the GSL competition, first place prize is $87,500, and that happens 4 times a year. He makes a living by the sponsors and coaching, by sponsor and coaching support. So basically, sponsors give him a set amount of money for the year, which he uses to live off and travel around to events and things like that. And like I said, he coaches about 10 hours a week when he's not leading up to a tournament. Plays StarCraft 2 for 8+ hours a day, sometimes even more. For the TT Esports Hon team, it's a lovely picture of Waitalaba down the bottom right. Reminds me of Puss in Boots, actually. But they're from Australia, New Zealand and North America, so they're from all around the world. Team lineup is White, that's actually, the next one's actually pronounced WTF. Slicks, who is from Australia and probably one of the best Hon players in the world, which is pretty good for us. Riser, who's from America, and also Leon Black, who's from America as well. Currently ranked 2nd in the world, yet again, for about the 4th time. They aspire to take the #1 spot in the world rankings, and they make a living off coaching, streaming, sponsors and tournaments. So that's another way to support the game as you like. They do streaming all of the time. You know, they stream either their coaching, they stream their gameplay, and you know, they run advertisements and things like that, and those advertisements help make them money. So where to go from here? Like I said, I'd introduce some communities to you guys. So for those of you who are interested to get into some semi-serious gaming, hopefully that some of you people are at least a part of 1, 2, 3, 4 of these communities even. So the one at the top there, cybergamer.com.au, they're probably the biggest community at the moment in Australia, over 100,000 members, which is pretty good. They're the main website for Counter-Strike Source competitions, Call of Duty 4 competitions is for PC. For console, they're pretty much the main in Australia for every console competition online. They do a few LANs, but they're mostly an online community. They've got a big following for people like the hardware section, graphics and design section, and things like that. For SE2SCA.com, that stands for StarCraft 2 Southeast Asia. So that's pretty self-explanatory, really. It's StarCraft 2 for everyone in Southeast Asia, including Australia. It's an English-only website, so you don't have to worry about going on there and not being able to understand Mandarin or anything like that. So that's where all of the tournaments pretty much for Australia are run for StarCraft, whether it be online or LAN. GTEsports.com.au, which is Game Tech Esports. That's for all of Counter-Strike Source in Australia. That's where most people go to talk about Counter-Strike Source and where all the LANs get posted and where all the chat happens. And you'll find me on there the most. I'm a moderator on that forum as well. ACLpro.com.au, which I said they run a big circuit 4 times a year. They have a LAN in a different state, running across consoles with like Halo, Modern Warfare 3, Gears of War, FIFA. And then they've just recently introduced fighting games, so Marvel v Capcom, Street Fighter, things like that. And they've also been running StarCraft. And then fourseasonsgaming.com.au, the other guys to go for Quake, and also a new game coming out called Shoot Mania, so they run all the big Quake Live competitions. And then Oz Fortress, which is all Australian Team Fortress stuff. So I've got another competition for some people who'd like to come down here. I've actually got 2 inflatable hammers. And whoever gets down here first will get a chance to compete. Here we go. No, I need you to be here. So what we're going to do is, as long as these guys don't have asthma, whoever can blow up the hammer first and have it fully inflated wins the TT Esports black-white gaming mouse. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1, go. looking pretty close. Here we go, we got a winner over here. You're letting all the hair out. Yeah, alright, that's good enough. We got a winner. Give a round of applause. So, for this mouse, quickly, I'd just like you to talk into the microphone and just read out some of the main points that's written about the mouse on the front. Just in this microphone, yeah.
The main points of the mouse: 4,000 DPI, 1.4 grams, laser. So it's got a laser. Rubber coating, coverage to ensure strong hand grip in game control. Instant DPI adjustment in 400/800/2000/4000 DPI.
Yeah, that's
for
good
frame.
enough. Alright, give another round of applause, guys. So, from about 4 p.m. onwards, we'll be here all week, but from about 4 p.m. today, we'll be running competitions on our PCs across League of Legends, StarCraft 2, Counter-Strike Source, so make sure you come along and play and have fun. What are the competitions you want?